Ken Yance here with Into the Storm podcast. First of all, I want to thank everyone for joining us here with our first episode. This is going to be a solo episode. I'm going to run through the kind of the origin of the Bison Tribe, how it ties in with the podcast here Into the Storm, and just kind of share that journey. And so every time you come to us with the episodes, probably the studio is going to be set up a little bit differently. I kind of like this setup for a solo, so we're going to run with this on this go round. Be patient with me. I'm going to check some notes over there on the board as we go, just to make sure I stay on task and keep us flowing through this episode. So first of all, the origin story. What is the Bison Tribe? I've been posting about this here recently. We're working on a website that's going to be coming out. We're going to have a YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram, the whole nine. So we're kind of in the process of that. But what I want to do with this podcast is go ahead and kind of get you guys informed on what the Bison Tribe is, because we are actively pursuing and trying to recruit new prospects to see, who all kind of fits into the tribe and could come in and join with us on this journey. So that being said, the origin story. Basically, I shared today actually on Facebook some photos from a week-long retreat that I was a part of this week, actually 2 years ago. And I had been to ones previously, I've been to some since then, but that one specifically, that's why I'm really wanting to roll this podcast out this week. Are we completely set up and ready? Probably not, but I just wanted to celebrate the anniversary of that 2 year period, because that's the exact amount of time that it took where this struck me that I wanted to do something like this. And now here we are trying to take the action steps to make it happen. So basically being part of a few different mastermind groups, personal development, leadership development type groups, I was able to see tremendous transformation in relatively short periods of time with guys that came from all over the country, kind of converged together in a very short amount of time. They opened up to one another. They kind of released some demons that they had been carrying around with them, some of them their entire life, and just was overwhelmed by the tribal nature of people, and our ability to kind of open up and become stronger in those group settings. And so I knew driving back from Gatlinburg, Tennessee, that a seed had been planted in me that was one day going to bear fruit. And so here we are. I've worked diligently here in the last, I would say, 4 to 6 months. I've actually taken the vision. Should have used that. Taking the vision. Let me go ahead and mute that. The vision of everything that I've been thinking, and actually getting it out into a structured format, and then recruited a few people that I felt like would be a good fit. Some panned out, some didn't. Sometimes it's just not the time or whatever, but everything isn't for everyone, so it is what it is. But so we got a small group, got those guys together, and had some meetings, talked about what the intention of the group was, and asked them what they wanted to get out of it. And it was amazing how that kind of lined up. Everybody spoke about wanting to give back, how they wanted to get better in different aspects of their life. And to a man, everyone said they wanted to be accountable. And we all have difficulty at times being held accountable. So I would say above and beyond anything else that you would use to describe the Bison Tribe, it's an accountability group. So we'll talk a little bit more here shortly about who our avatar is, who the target audience is for the tribe. But right now I'm going to go ahead and share with you guys. Let's see, let's get into a PDF. Let's see, pull this thing up, slides here, and there we go. So the first slide, this is basically talks about who we are, what we're about. The Bison Tribe is a personal development and accountability group. We are a collective of individuals who come together to support one another in our growth as leaders, both personally and professionally. Additionally, we aspire to create a measurable impact on our community. Our members engage in activities such as goal setting, skill development, sharing experiences, providing feedback, and holding one another accountable for progress towards our goals, as well as the expectation to uphold our core values. The tribe fosters an environment of trust, collaboration, and encouragement to help each member reach our full potential as we forge into the storms of life. So that is basically, in a nutshell, kind of what we are. Is that an elevator pitch? No, it's a little bit longer than that, but I just felt like it needed to be a thorough description of what our purpose is here. Now, the next thing is the Bison Creed. So we open up our meetings reciting this, and this is kind of like our North Star, if you will. Guided by unwavering integrity, we embrace accountability in all endeavors, demonstrating resilience as we courageously forge into the storm. With intentional actions, we strive to push our brothers and sisters, yes, we do have a Lady Bison group, to exceed expectations, fostering trust and excellence in everything we do. And so, just touch base real quick on the brothers and sisters aspect. We do have a Lady Bison group that we just now got the right leadership in place. I did not want to have a ladies group and not have the right membership, the right leadership in place to lead them. I don't think that it's my place. I think we need to have someone on that side that could connect and take that leadership role. And we've got a very strong core of ladies that are going to take that over and run with that. So very excited about that opportunity to make that impact on that side. So then the next thing would be our core values. We mentioned that in the in that creed. So our core values, obviously B is be the example. And we have actually slides, breakouts that are actually going to be framed posters here in the studio of what each one of these, the description of what being the example looks like. I is impact our community. Just to give you a little insight, we're already talking about meeting with the Harvest Hope, which is the state's largest food bank, and going over there and volunteering some time to help pack food and help deliver that food here in the next few weeks. We're also looking at other sources, other avenues for us to give back to our community. The next thing is S is serve our families. Everyone talks about that, but what does that actually look like? What are the action steps? And are we being intentional about it, or is it something we kind of talk about? Next is O and O. That's overcoming our demons. We all have demons. We all have things that hold us back. A lot of those things are seated all the way back into childhood, but whatever those things are, we can try to, be men and just like push it back and ignore it or whatever. But man, it fosters itself and it festers and kind of comes out in other, ways that this hurting us, and it's impacting our 5 footprints. I don't have a slide to talk about the footprints, but our 5 footprints are faith, family, finance, fitness, and fulfillment. So everything that we do, we feel like falls in one of those 5 footprints, and the the purpose of calling it footprints is as you walk through life, you're going to leave those things behind you, and so we want to make sure that we're being intentional in all of those areas. So that's our then the last that's overcoming our demons. And the last thing is in, and that's never stop growing. We do vote, and we come up with a book each month where we we go through the book. Usually it's audible. Most guys don't have time to sit and read a book, but we can certainly listen to and from the work, and in the evenings when everybody's went to bed or whatever it is, we can always find time to hammer out one book a month, right? So never stop growing is obviously through personal development and being intentional about things that albeit our conversations that we have with one another. The book reading, I think, is powerful there because we meet bi-weekly. So every other week, we're either halfway through a book or wrapped up a book, and we can kind of share what we got out of the book. And different points of view on it, and then how we can apply those things to our life. So those are some of the things that we are doing for the never stop growing aspect. So that's pretty much in a very abbreviated nutshell, what we're about. The community part, we're still kind of, working on what that's going to look like and how we're going to serve our community. But that is a very big part of what our intention is. You can see here, I'm wearing a vest tonight. Members kind of get these vests, and when we go out and do our community stuff, it's actually got a logo on the back as well. We want to represent. We want it to mean something to be a bison. It should mean something. There should be some pride there. So that being said, the next thing is, who is our avatar? Who can be in the Bison Tribe? Who are we looking for? Our target audience, so to speak. And a lot of the groups that I've been able to be a part of, it's business owners. A lot of times it's business owners, and it's what they call masterminds. And it's a great concept, and I think that not only do you grow in your business mindset, but you also grow on a personal side. This is geared a little bit more towards the personal side. Now, are you going to still get business? Yes, because I feel like, to improve yourself as a man, as a husband, as a leader, whether you're, just an hourly worker or you own four businesses, either way, the accountability piece is still the same. The need to try to be better in those five footprints should still be the same. Maybe you figure out finance and you're tremendous in that one footprint, right? But then there's four other ones, man. How are you doing on those? And what we find is a lot of times you get out of balance, so even people, I know guys that are in tremendous shape, their fitness is phenomenal, but it's at the cost of being at the gym 3 hours a day and not being around their family. So, it's a lot of times it's about balancing that and finding that what that looks like. So we want to make sure that we're pushing through on all five footprints. Um, so when somebody says, "Well, who are you shooting for?" Our goal is, if anyone who kind of looks at our five core values and they aspire to meet those core values, be the example, right? Impact our community, serve your family, overcome your demons, never stop growing. If you want to be a part of something that pushes you in those five areas, then you are our avatar. You are who we want to come in and prospect with us. We actually call our prospects red dogs. In the bison, world, all newborn calves are called red dogs because they're very reddish brown, and then they turn to a deeper brown later on in life. But they're just commonly called red dogs. So our red dogs, or our prospects, you come in, you prospect for 60 days. In that 60 days, you have to do what we call a trek. And a bison trek is a very personalized uh, journey that you go on. We call it a journey, but it's 28 days. And we basically have a scoring system over on your footprints. You have a worksheet, and within each footprint, you have a series of questions that you get point values depending on how you answer those as to where you're at. So you can kind of get a grade. How am I doing at my faith? How am I doing in family? How am I doing in finance? How am I doing in my fulfillment? And so you get grades on these things. And then based on where you're at, what's your strengths or weaknesses, then we create a trek we've got a list of action steps that you can take for each one of those footprints, things that you can do to help improve in those areas. And so basically, the tribe helps you. You're going to always have a trek partner. So you're going to have someone that's going to be doing a trek at the same time, and you guys hold each other accountable through the process. And so you look at things like the 75 hard. There's Fearless 44, which is a great opportunity to kind of improve and grow in a lot of areas. But what this does is more so is it targets specifically what your weaknesses are and helps you grow in those areas. Because let's face it, let's say a big part of 75 hard is working out twice a day. But what if you're somebody that already works out? You don't mind that. It's not, you're not really growing from that. You're already there, right? So that's just kind of like a general thing. With this, if fitness isn't something you need to focus on, then your trek isn't going to be centered around fitness, right? So it's very personalized, which we feel very good about the way that's been planned and put together. Um, we do bi-weekly meetings. So really, it's instead of bi-weekly, it's going to actually be twice a month, probably first and third or second and fourth, Sunday of the month, and it's in the evenings. So we get together, and it's a little bit longer meeting. It's 2.5, maybe 3 hours, but we'd actually have a schedule where we go through a series of things that's intentional. We're not just hanging out, watching football, eating smoked ribs, right? Um, Although smoked ribs sometimes are part of the deal if you come to my house. But um, so we're going to have those meetings, be pretty intentional about those things, and then we're going to have quarterly retreats. So at the end of each quarter, we'll get out and do a retreat. Sometimes we'll go off site, maybe have a night or two out of town. And then, of course, we'll have a guest speaker come in, someone that's going to speak to one of the five footprints and give us some push in that area. And then sometimes it may just be something local. We may meet, early one day and go do something for the day and have some activities set up, team building, things of that nature. So we'll have those things going. Um, we have a thing called a stampede. A stampede will be done quarterly as well. That's a 1 day event. If you think about it in relation to this, think about the Murph, right? The Murphy. They do the Murph. A lot of times they do it on Memorial Day, Veterans Day, sometimes on July 4th. It's kind of something that you do in it's a CrossFit workout where you run a mile. You do however you split it, but you do 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, and 300 body squats, and then you run another mile. So it's called the Murph, and because it's a workout that's just described in one way, you can do that anywhere. So a lot of times people do that to honor their country and those that have fought and died for our country. So what we want to do is we've not hammered the details of the stampede out yet, but we want to have something where we have some type of a hard physical challenge where we all come together, just like a stampede would be, right? Imagine a stampede of bison. They're all moving, pretty fast pace in one direction, everybody together, and that's the point of a stampede. So we'll do those, and then we'll have in the spring and the fall, we'll have a family event where we bring everybody from the tribe in with their families and have a big cookout, a big get together. And then we'll also have at least two, if not more, community events where we'll kind of get out and partner with some churches or whatever it might be and just have a big festival. Maybe it's a fall festival, whatever it may be, but we'll get to have like a spring fling fall festival type thing, but we'll partner and try to create some impact in those ways and bring awareness to whatever community services that we're doing, also to the tribe and things that we're trying to work on in our community there. So that's pretty much the outline of what we're doing. We're not just sitting around, sitting on our hands. So we're actually doing some stuff. I think I mentioned earlier that we did add the Lady Bison group in there. So we're going to have, they are going to operate separately. They're going to have meetings on the opposite weeks of the men. The great thing that I love about, the Lady Bison is I've seen this, and it's kind of a gap that I saw in some of these mastermind things is it tends to be like just men go in there or just women go in there and do their thing, and it's a separate thing. And you guys know yourself, like if you took, let's just take one of the five, and it's the most common one. So we're going to take fitness, and let's say a spouse, male or female, one of them just go on this crazy fitness journey. They just want to level up and get in great shape. The other spouse is sitting there like, man, who you doing that for? Like what are we doing, man? Like, well, I loved you the way you were. Like, it's just this whole thing, right? Same thing. What if your faith, you start wanting to get deeper into your faith. And so one of the two of you guys start going to church more, reading your Bible more, you stop cussing, you make hey, I'm going to stop cussing. It's like, well, who do you think you are? You think you're better than me? So it's like, there tends to be, if one grows at a different rate than the other, or just goes on this individual journey, then it kind of becomes like a weight that's pulling you back, and you feel almost guilty sometimes for taking time away from them because they don't feel like they're part of it. So by having the Lady Bison and the regular Bison Tribe, you're basically going to have an opportunity for them to both kind of, they don't meet together, whatever, but there's a lot of conversation there and growth that's going to be paralleled when we have the community service things. When we have the family days and so forth, we want the entire chapter to come together. That's the men and the women with their families. So just really excited about that opportunity. And then I guess the next thing is talking about our goals, man. What are we trying to achieve out of this? Is this just like a local thing? I'm telling you, I've spoke with people all around the country that I know through some of these other groups that I've been a part of, and there is a need for this in every state, in every county, in every city, every suburb, all around the country. And I think that what we've put together here is scalable, and I think it's got the opportunity to make impact that just is astronomical. I really think because we're not excluding any group of people. We're not, this isn't for just business owners. If you're a business owner, great, man. I want you to be a business owner. That'd be awesome. But it's not exclusively for them. It's for anybody that wants to better themselves and live up to those 5 core values. And from that, we do have dues. There's annual dues, but those things have a purpose, and they're going towards very individual things that's going to specific things I should say, that's going to better the tribe, and like things like this vest, things like the retreats, percentage of your money goes towards those things. That's it's kind of like you're making a payment plan, so part of those retreats are covered when it comes time. So we get workbooks. We've actually got these cool little books right here that members get. So that's a Bison Tribe book. That's actually our old logo before I had the new one designed. But you open up in there, and then you can kind of go in there and make your notes and put your stuff in there. So members get those as well. And so there's some of the stuff that'll come back to you, swag and those things like that. We're gonna actually about to put in our first decent order for some Bison Tribe swag now that we actually have official logos. So that's pretty much the Bison Tribe. That's what we're about. Now, how does that tie in to what we're doing here with Into the Storm? Into the Storm and the Bison Tribe are separate, but they're also going to feed each other. We're going to have two basic setups for the way that we're going to do the pod. Obviously, the studio will change around probably 50 different configurations, but as far as like what the format will be as far as the conversations and who comes on, we'll have outside guests. My goal is to have an outside guest each week, be it here in the studio or per Zoom or whatever we do. We bring some people in. I've already spoke with people all around the country that I think would fit in great with the podcast and the format. But we're also going to have a second podcast that will be basically a tribe pod is what I'm calling it. And that's where we have members of the tribe that's going to come in, males, females. Sometimes it may be just all females on the set holding an episode, but we just want them to tell their stories and for them to kind of share with you guys what's going on with the tribe, impacts that we're making in one another's lives as well as out in the community. So that's kind of the setup there. And I'm going to share real quick with you another slide that talks about that. So let's see. And boom, boom. Sorry, I'm not the technology guy. Y'all got the wrong dude. So Into the Storm podcast. So what is it about? Into the Storm podcast shines a light on the human experience in all its complexity. Through candid interviews and heartfelt conversations, we aim to inspire listeners to find strength in their own struggles and to embrace the journey of self-discovery and personal growth. Whether you're facing challenges in your personal or professional life, Into the Storm offers insight, support, and encouragement to help navigate the storms of life. Tune in each week to hear stories of human triumph, resilience, and the power of the human spirit, because no matter what you're facing, every victory, no matter how small, deserves to be celebrated. So that is the outline for the pod, and that's what we're going to be doing every week. Just know that if someone comes on the pod, it's kind of prerequisite that they know that we're going to get into the dirt a little bit. Our motto here, Into the Storm, is the name of the podcast. We've got it on, our logos, right, for the tribe, but the big thing is it's our motto. It's literally every time somebody starts to kind of back down and don't want to do something that they know they should be doing, everybody else knows they should be doing it. Then we just call each other out, man, into the storm, brother. Like even on the treks, I said earlier that we create action steps to improve in our footprints. Well, the action steps can be uncomfortable, man. Some of that stuff, you gotta get in there and do it. And if you're doing a trek, you have we focus on a few different things. So the trek, I don't have a slide, but the trek, there's four parts. It's that's an acronym as well. Trek is the T is to trade. You're going to trade something that you're not being useful of time doing, and you're going to trade that for something that's more beneficial. So that's a trade. You're going to do something there. Your R is reach. You're going to reach new levels. So you're going to take what would be perceived as your strength, and let's solidify that. A lot of times, if we ignore our strengths when we do these little things and we focus on our weaknesses so much that our strengths slowly slip and they're no longer our strengths, right? So we want to solidify those. So the R is reach new levels on your strength, on your strongest footprint. Then the E is execute. Execute is it's basically the reason, that's for your your two weakest footprints. So your two weaker footprints, you pretty much know if it's your biggest weakness. Let's say you're in horrible physical condition, and I've been there. I knew the basic things I needed to do. Like, you don't have to do detailed things when you're that far off. Like, you just have to do a few basic things. We just don't execute them, right? We just don't focus on executing those things. So that's why the E is execute. And you're going to do two action steps for each one of those things. So you're going to do two for your strongest. You're going to trade something time. You're going to trade some kind of time for something like let's say personal development. Man, I don't have time to read. I don't have, okay, well, don't listen to Audible. You know what I mean? Like, if you are working out, then stop listening to music and listen to a book while you're working out. When you drive to work, you got 20 minutes here, 20 minutes home. That's 40 minutes a day. 40 minutes times, 5 days a week, and then you multiply that over a month, you just read a book. Like, there's no excuses. So that's the trade, right? But then two action steps instead of one. One is easy, man. We're going into the storm. So we attach two action steps for each one. So there's trade, there's reach, there's execute, and the last thing is the K, and that is kill a demon. So you're going to pick one of the few demons that you may have. You may have a lot of demons, but you're going to pick a demon. What that big, that big thing that's holding you back, and we're going to create some action steps within that. And some of these things may be daily things. Sometimes they're like benchmarks you want to hit or things that you want to achieve. Let's example. Let's go back to family. Let's say, okay, well, let's find out, because we're intentional, man. Like, we get into it. If your family, you're grading out low, man, what's going on with your family? Well, me and my wife don't really connect the way we should, right? Okay, so how do we do that? Well, everybody knows, usually you need a date night, right? That's the first thing. Well, y'all need a date night. That's kind of like common. Everybody says that. Well, date night for 28 days, you do one a week. That's 4 out of 28. So that's not all you're doing, bro. Like, this is into the storm. So you're also going to attach a daily, action step to that as well. So we just want to be intentional. On the demon part, that could look a million different ways, man. Maybe it's about having a tough conversation with somebody that wronged you when you were younger. Maybe it's, whatever it is. I'm just throwing out stuff, but whatever it is, we as a group kind of get in there and try to dig in and, hey, let's cut the root out of this thing, brother, because it's hurting you and manifesting itself in other areas of your life. So kill the K is kill the demon. So you got 28 days to do that. And guys, we do a trek once a quarter. So you're going to do 4 of these. So you're constantly doing new action steps. You're constantly on this journey of growth, of development, of improvement, of accountability, right? Every time you trek, you have to have a different partner for the year. So that's going to be 4 different partners you're going to have that's going to hold you accountable. We're really excited about the opportunity to begin all these exercises with new members as they come in. So that's pretty much the entire thing. That's what I wanted to go over today. I actually wanted to be 25 to 30 minutes long. We're hitting 30 right now, so that's a pretty good thing. And the last thing I'm gonna let you go before I let you go is talking about a tribe. What's the strength of a tribe? Let's look at it. And I don't try to make this analogy to make it a negative thing in any type of way. It's just an example. Okay. Um, when I was growing up, and I'll get more into my story as it filters out through conversations with other people. I don't want this to make be about me in any way, but I will say, for the sake of this conversation, that we did go through some stuff when we were kids, and one of the things that I was a part of because of my stepmother being in AA a good percentage of my childhood was, I went to AA to Alateen meetings. So when the AA meeting would be going over in this room, two rooms down the hallway, there'd be an Alateen for the teenagers that were dealing with family members that were alcoholics. And sometimes their family was there. Sometimes they just went to those meetings and their family wasn't even trying to like get sober, whatever. So at 13 years old, I was actually the chairman of an Alateen meeting down at the Charleston Air Force Base down in Charleston, South Carolina, and got to speak to some pretty big groups. Man, it was really a great experience for me to have that platform and to be able to kind of take a leadership role at such a young age, albeit through negative things that had happened in my life. But I saw the impact that my story and my perseverance through a lot of things had on other people older than me, 18, 19-year olds, that were inspired by some of the stories that I shared in those moments. And then what I took from that was the power of AA, the power of here's the thing. What makes AA successful for those that succeed in it are the people that dial in and they show up to the meetings, the people that plug in with the support that's there. It's not about the workbook that they give you or the flyer or the saying, the catchphrases they have, one day at a time. That phrase has not saved anybody from drugs or alcohol. I mean, it's a hook phrase that kind of gives them momentum, but what saves them is the tribe. It's going to the meetings. It's being with those people that support you and hold you accountable. That is an accountability group. Like, where were you at last night? You know what I mean? Like, why didn't you come to the meeting? Like, they also have sponsors, which is huge. That's accountability. The whole thing is built on accountability, and overcoming demons. Like, it's literally the same type thing. Here's, and I could catch some stuff for this. Hopefully, this is taken the right way. I respect people that were on drugs, were on alcohol, and hooked on these different things. I've had my vices as well. They just didn't fall in that category. And I've had other things that demons that I've had to face, and I still face, right? But that is just one that everybody's aware of, so it's an easy for conversation piece. It's an easy thing to talk about, but it's wonderful that you have that support and you overcome that and you get a chip, you get a 5-year chip, 10-year chip, 20-year chip. That's awesome, man, that you hit these landmarks of time, that you did not fall victim to the evilness of what addiction is. Just understand this. For everybody who is hooked on alcohol, hooked on drugs because they're facing demons, there's several other people that face those exact same demons, right? They've had those same struggles, they've had those same traumas, and they didn't turn to that, right? So where's their support system? Like really, like if you out there just raw dogging it and trying to get through life and you don't have a meeting to go to because you've never been an alcoholic or a drug addict, then where's your support? That's what saves them people, not just from the drugs, right? It doesn't just save them from the drugs or the alcohol. It also saves them from feeling like they're alone battling the demons that drove them to that stuff in the first damn place. So, like, that's seeing that firsthand at such an early age, and then the revelations that I've come through whenever I've been at these different retreats with these men from all over the country that finally have this connection, and it's like, oh my God, like, and it just falls out of them, man. Like, they just they just pour out into each other in a very short period of time. So imagine this, and this is my crazy brain thinking that we can do stuff like this, and I really do believe it, and I'm pouring into it with all that I have. But imagine that you have that atmosphere in your hometown and you have those meetings that AA people have 3, 4, 5 days a week. You have that reunited support, right? But you have it constantly, like every other week. Yeah, we connect. We also have a WhatsApp chat that we jump into, and we're there supporting, sharing victories, and sharing our struggles, and getting some support there as well. So that's a continuous, ongoing, daily support system that's there. Um, but that's my goal for this tribe. That's my goal for the impact that I want to make, is for this to be commonplace, for us to have a tribe, a bison tribe all over this country, man. And you can think I'm crazy, whatever. Maybe this is my, Amazon garage, that you see all the time, where Amazon started out. Maybe this is it. Maybe this room is where it started. I mean, who knows? I don't know. But I know somebody is going to figure this out. Somebody's going to put something together that people want to be a part of, and they're going to do it for the right reason, and they're going to grow exponentially, because there's power in what I'm saying and what I put together here. I've seen it, and I know there's a need for it, and I hope that if you connect in any kind of way through this, through this podcast right here, that you reach out to me. Let's get you an application. When I say application, it's not an application like you pass or fail. It's about 20 to 25 questions that just basically holds a mirror up to you and asks you where you're at in your life, and do you want to try to improve in areas where you're weak, and do you feel like your story can help other people? Do you feel like the things that you have figured out could help the next person beside you? And then, conversely, there's something that they're further down the road than you are, right? There's power in these tribes. And if that feels like it's something you're drawn to, please reach out to me. Let me get you an application, fill it out. If you feel like it's something that you want to do, we'll talk, get you to one of the meetings and get you going. We really want to grow our tribe, but just know this: above everything else, we are an accountability group. Don't come here if you don't want to put in the work, because we're going to push you through your storm. You're not going to go around it. We're going to pick you up. We're going to carry you through it. We're going to go through it with you, but we're going to make sure that you win in every way possible. We want to try to help as many as we can. Again, I appreciate you guys for tuning in for this episode, and we'll see you next time. Okay, thank you.